Obviously, Mercedes are still ahead, and we still got a gap to try and close. Not yet to do that.
Guys, listen, Ferrari is back. Podiums, battles, drama. But here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to admit. Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, is openly saying that P3 and P4 might be the maximum Ferrari can achieve right now. And Charles Leclerc, he's quietly outperforming his legendary teammate. Meanwhile, Mercedes is pulling away. Ferrari's tires are silently dying. And the team might be forced to make the most controversial decision of 2026, picking one lead driver. Stay with me because this one gets wild.
Lewis Hamilton's honest confession. So let's start with something that actually shocked me when I first heard it. Lewis Hamilton, the guy with 7 world championships, the guy who dominated Mercedes for over a decade, came out and said that P3 or P4 is basically the best Ferrari can realistically fight for right now. And look, when a driver of that caliber says something like that, openly, you have to take it seriously. In Australia, Hamilton acknowledged that Mercedes was simply faster, and that the podium position they got was honestly the maximum result available to them. Then, in Japan, things got even worse. Hamilton described the car's performance as pretty terrible, mentioning he couldn't keep up and was losing power through the laps. Now think about that for a second. This isn't some rookie complaining. This is Lewis Hamilton telling you exactly where Ferrari stands. And honestly, that level of transparency is both refreshing and slightly terrifying for Ferrari fans.
The Mercedes problem, the gap is real. Now, here's where it gets technical, and trust me, the numbers don't lie. In Australia qualifying, Mercedes locked out the front with a margin of 0.293 seconds over the field. The best Ferrari, which was Leclerc, was sitting 0.516 seconds behind. That's not a small gap, that's a canyon. And before you say qualifying doesn't matter, race pace is different, Hamilton himself warned before Japan that as McLaren starts pushing harder, Ferrari could actually fall further behind, not closer. The core issue is straightforward. Mercedes has a power unit advantage that Ferrari simply cannot match right now on straight-line speed. Ferrari is beautiful through the corners, absolutely rapid, but the moment you hit a long straight, Mercedes pulls away like Ferrari is standing still. This isn't just a setup problem you can fix overnight with a wing adjustment. This is a fundamental performance gap, and Ferrari knows it. The question is, how long before they close it?
Charles versus Lewis. Who's actually winning? All right, this is the part I personally find most fascinating because the internal battle at Ferrari is getting spicy. Let's look at the facts on the table. In 2025, Leclerc absolutely dominated Hamilton 18-3 in Grand Prix head-to-head results, 19-5 in qualifying, and a massive 242-156 pointscape. That's not even close, that's a statement. Now, in 2026, Australia went to Charles, the Shanghai Sprint went to Charles, but Hamilton bounced back in the Chinese Grand Prix. Then Japan came and Leclerc edged Hamilton again. And here's what makes this even more interesting. Lewis is a driver who historically takes time to adapt to a new car, a new team, a new environment. He's still learning Ferrari's systems, Ferrari's culture, Ferrari's way of working. So the fact that he's already closing the gap on Charles, who has been at Ferrari for years, actually tells you how dangerous Hamilton could become in the second half of this season. Hamilton keeps saying his goal isn't to beat Charles, it's about the team first. That sounds diplomatic and mature, but on track, both these guys are absolutely racing each other hard. And honestly, that's exactly what makes Ferrari so entertaining to watch right now. You genuinely don't know who's going to come out on top each weekend.
Ferrari's silent crisis, the tire degradation problem. So we've talked about the pace gap and the driver battle, but there's another problem quietly hurting Ferrari that doesn't get enough attention: tire degradation. Ferrari starts races looking strong. The car feels planted, the pace looks competitive. But as the laps pile up, something changes. The tires start going away faster than they should, and suddenly that early pace advantage just disappears. This is a strategic nightmare because it forces Ferrari into either early pit stops, which ruins track position, or pushing tires beyond their limit, which destroys lap time.
Neither option is great when you're already fighting to hold P3 or P4. The good news, and Ferrari fans hold on to this, is that a significant upgrade package is expected around the Miami Grand Prix. New floor, revised aero, potential suspension tweaks. If that upgrade lands well, the tire situation could genuinely improve. But upgrades are a gamble. Sometimes they work, sometimes they send you backwards. Ferrari knows that better than anyone.
SF26's secret strength. Here's where I want to give Ferrari some real credit, because it's not all doom and gloom. The SF26 chassis is genuinely one of the best on the grid right now. Through medium and high-speed corners, Ferrari is absolutely beautiful. The balance, the traction coming out of corners, the mechanical grip, it's all there. Charles and Lewis are both praising how the car feels through the twisty sections. The problem isn't the chassis. The problem is that engine deficit on the straights is currently masking how good this car actually is. Fix the power unit performance, sort the tire degradation, and suddenly you're not talking about P3 and P4 anymore, you're talking about genuine race victories. Ferrari has the foundation, they just need the performance to match it. The Ferrari's biggest decision. And this brings us to the most explosive topic of all. As this season develops, Ferrari is going to face a decision they absolutely hate making. Do they pick one lead driver and build the strategy around them? Juan Pablo Montoya already warned that if Hamilton's results start matching or beating Leclerc's, it could seriously affect Charles psychologically. And two competitive drivers fighting each other inside the same team is how championships get thrown away. We've seen this story play out before, not just at Ferrari, but across Formula One history. When two elite drivers share a garage and the points are tight, team orders become inevitable. The question is never if, it's when. Ferrari has been here before, and it didn't end well. The team will say both drivers are equal for as long as possible, but the moment one driver starts pulling ahead in the standings, that narrative quietly falls apart. But at some point, reality forces a choice. What happens next? So let's bring it all together. Ferrari in 2026 is a team with genuine talent, a brilliant chassis, two world-class drivers, but real problems with Mercedes' pace, tire life, and an internal battle that's only going to intensify. My honest opinion? I think Leclerc is Ferrari's best shot at a championship this year. He knows this team, he's motivated, and right now, his form is slightly sharper. But Ferrari needs that Miami upgrade to land perfectly because time is running out. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Ferrari should officially make Charles Leclerc their #1 driver? Or is that the biggest mistake they could make in 2026? Drop it in the comments.